Hi everybody, thanks for joining me on another garden tour video. Now I'm filming this in mid-August, so there's been some things happening and I've discovered a few things as well, so I thought I'd like to share them with you. Right, first of all, the beds. Well, here they are. This bed didn't do very well, to be honest with you. Everything that grew in it just didn't achieve any decent size or any quantity, and they're quite poor. So I was speaking to my friend Loz, and Loz mentioned possibly you got some compaction of the soil going on because it was a sort of a lawn grassy area before I put the cardboard down, because I did a no dig. I started these beds no dig fashion where I put cardboard down and then put layers of compost on top, but I only really had about 2 or 3 inches depth of compost. So what I've done, I've forked over the beds. I've added more compost from my homemade hot bin, and now if I just show you what I've got here, then I've got soil like this now. So I've got beautiful depth. I've got a good 10 inches to get onto a foot of depth now, all over the bed. So that one I think will do well going on. But the other thing is, this tree here, it's a plum tree. It's not a particularly good plum tree, but it's sending out roots under all these beds, and it's obviously robbing the nutrients away. Over here, these are some of the roots that I've dug out, and in fact these roots, they were coming right across like that from that tree. So that tree has to go. I'll be cutting it down. I don't want to, but I think I need to. And the other thing, it was also shading. It was causing a lot of shade in the late afternoon, and I was losing probably 20%, 25% of sunlight on the beds. So yeah, massive roots like that, I mean, they're certainly going to be taking away a lot of nutrients. So this bed's going to be cleaned up, and I'm going to be planting some, I think, Swiss chard. I've got some Swiss chard to go in there. It's a bit late, but I should get some small leaves for winter. I've put leeks in this bed here. This again I've dug over. I've got a good depth of soil on there now. The third bed over there, I'm just going to leave that one and just let it rest over winter, and then sort that out in the spring. The other thing where I've had some good success is in the greenhouse, and I'm really impressed with how the greenhouse has come along, and the tomatoes. I mean, just look at this. Well, there's not a lot wrong with those. What's happening is that they're all going to become ripe all at the same time, or pretty soon. So I'm going to have a glut of tomatoes. My friend Rich calls it the greenhouse effect. He said you end up having so much food, you either got to give it away or throw it away, or you can't eat it all. So I decided I'm going to have a go at home fermenting. So that one there, that'll soon be ready. The hot bin composter has been giving me some good compost. I mean, that really is, I'm not kidding you, that is black gold. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. So well impressed with that, but the durability of the polystyrene unfortunately isn't great, but we'll stick with it. We'll see how it goes. Sorry about the state of my garden. It's not always like this, only most of the time. And I've got a piece of guttering I've got to put up on the workshop roof. But anyway, this tree, I'm gonna cut it down. It has to go. It's gonna make good firewood for burning, not this winter, that's for sure, next winter perhaps. And I've already been doing some garden clearance over in the other part of the garden over here. So this was all overgrown. I've had to cut down 2 fairly large trees that were overgrowing and shading this area, and I need to tidy this area up now, and who knows what I might do there. You know, I'm possibly thinking I might put an off-grid cabin there, you know, and pretend I'm in the woods, trying to ignore the fact that there's a rather busy road just a few yards away beyond the hedge. But again, more wood for the wood burning stove, but it'll take a year or two before it's properly seasoned, of course. Talking about winter fuel and wood burning stoves, I mean, we are moving on now into the tail end of summer, and we've only got a few more warm weeks to look forward to before the cold north winds blow once again. So I do rely up to a point on a wood burning stove for heating in our house, and I'm slowly building up my stocks of fuel for that wood burner. It saves us a fortune in heating, to be honest with you. And so this is my stock of wood for the wood burner. So at the moment I've probably got enough fuel to see me through maybe a month and a half, 2 months, running the stove fairly continuously. Well, when I say continuously, I mean in the evenings only. We only tend to use it in the evenings, but I probably need about 3 or 4 times as much as what you see. But I've got a few contacts, and I've got more wood coming, so hopefully my provision of wood will be sufficient to see us through the winter and on into spring next year. Cool. Doesn't time fly? Anyway, I'll show you what I'm doing with the preserving of the tomatoes, and also another thing which you'll be interested in, I've actually started to have a go at making my own homemade cheese. Well, this is it. This is my crop of onions, and then a tomato which wasn't quite ripe. It fell off the vine, so I put it there to ripen. It's ripening up nicely now. Not a huge amount of onions, but better than nothing. And when it come off of that bed, which was compromised by the tree roots, well, I'm not surprised I didn't get big onions really, because of the tree taking all the nutrients. Well, this is the first crop of tomatoes, and I'm fermenting them in brine solution with garlic, and there's also some basil. So they've got to be in there for about 2 to 3 weeks, and then they're just placed into a cold place for storage. Put them in your fridge, or in just a cold place in the kitchen, a larder or something, and they should keep for up to 6 months or maybe even longer, and full of goodness, full of probiotics. Next to it, this is my first attempt at making my own cheese. Just briefly, all you do, you get some rice, about a cup of rice, you mix it with some water, and then the water goes cloudy, so that's taken all the bacteria, the good bacteria from the rice grains, and then you put that cloudy water in a warm place for 2 or 3 days, and it ferments away and forms a starter. And then you simply add it to whole milk, and you wait another 2 or 3 days, and you get this. Now it's beginning to separate. It will become more condensed, so that's the whey, and that's the curds. This becomes your cheese. This is full of good probiotics. This is full of fantastic lactose bacteria, which you can feed to your plants, and you can feed it. You can eat it, you drink it yourself, or add it to food, or dilute it in water and as I say, water your plants, etc. So I'm looking forward to tasting that. That should be ready in about another couple of days, and that'll be farmhouse cheese. Well, here we have it. This is the cheese that I put it through a tea towel actually, and squeezed all the whey from the cheese, and that's what's left. And it does look quite appetising. I've tasted a little bit and it tastes pretty neutral, to be honest with you. I'll just get a knife and I'll cut a piece of that cheese. So it's sort of it's got the consistency of I don't know what you call it. It's soft cheese. It's a soft cheese, and it tastes a little bit plain. It doesn't taste unpleasant, but the addition of a little bit of salt, it does improve the flavour tremendously. Before I give it a taste test, that's the whey, or the lactic acid serum that's left, and this is all from 4 litres of whole milk. So there we are, there's the cheese, a little bit of Himalayan sea salt, taste test. Well, certainly no strength. It's not like a mature cheddar cheese, because this is pretty immature, and it's called a farmhouse cheese, and it won't keep for long. They reckon about 2 or 3 days. You've got to eat it within 2 or 3 days. But I'll tell you what, it's not unpleasant. It's just like a sort of a creme fraiche sort of taste to it, I suppose. I've got a little dog down there looking at me. I know she wants some. But the good thing about this cheese, it is full of probiotics, good bacteria. So if anyone's suffering from digestive issues, this will be good for your gut health. So we all need that in this modern day and age, because the quality of the foods in the shops and the supermarkets now is pretty damn poor. And that's one of the reasons why I'm growing my own food, and I'm starting I think I'm going to regularly make this now. Whenever I cook rice, we generally cook a rice meal twice a week, so I just save the rice washed water. That's your starter. In fact, yeah, I'm cooking our curry tonight, but that's the rice washed water from that, and so that will go into a warm place for about 3 or 4 days, and that ferments away. That's your starter, so that's ready for the next batch of cheese that I do. But yeah, so that's it. It's not a lot of cheese. Probably you maybe go into the supermarket and buy a block of cheese that size and maybe spend I don't know, 3 or 4 quid on it, and that's not far short of what you are. What would 4 litres of milk cost? I'm not sure, but it's got to be whole milk. Pasteurised milk is okay, but it wants to be the whole milk, not the semi-skimmed or skim milk. You've got to use the whole milk. Anyway, that'll go in the fridge, and I'll be eating that over the next couple of days. Here comes Carmen. Oh, she's a good girl. Yeah, this is my rescue dog, Carmen. She likes to be in the films, don't you? You like to be in the films? You do, good girl. let's show them the wood burning stove then. Let's show them the wood burning stove. Down you go. Come on. Good girl. There you go. Look, it's just a simple stove. I think it's a 5 kilowatt, and that bangs out a tremendous amount of heat. If you so hot that when you're burning good fuel, you can't sit in this room with the doors closed. You've got to have the doors open, and the heat then distributes itself throughout the house. And I've had this probably going on now for 15 years. So saved us a fortune in energy bills. So that's it. Just a quick update on the garden and their home and what I've been up to here. So I got a good feeling that moving on forward into next year with the growing, I'm going to have a lot more success.